Here on the right-hand side of Metropolis, we have our Red Terran player from ZeeZ winning his last game, trying to tie things up. It is JJH. And his opponent on the left-hand side of the map from Isurus, it is their fourth player so far, our Blue Terran player, ZeeZ.
ZenDoh. Makes me think it's like an homage of Sen.
Only Homer saying it.
ZenDoh.
ZenDoh.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good.
So TVT first. Is this the first TVT that we've?
It is. We had 4 TVCs in a row, and then we had a couple TVPs. So,
all right,
and
so
a
we're
PvP.
going to see Marine on Marine warfare for this match. Pretty much, lots of bio units. I'm expecting. You know, don't think they'll gun it straight for Hellions. We'll see, though.
And I just realized that I was a dirty liar as well, as it was actually what we had like ZVT and ZVP to kick things off. So I don't remember
ZVT,
like a few minutes ago.
ZVT, PVT, PVT.
Only one mirror matchup though. Before this PvP. One. So yeah.
Thus far, shooter.
Yes.
JJH versus ZeeZ here on Metropolis, and they are at these cross positions. So this is another one of the maps that this is actually, I think, the only map in our pool that's got 4 players and is not rotational symmetry.
Right.
It's just folded across the middle with those islands there.
I like it though. It's been a fun map, and it's one that encourages very, very long macro games, which can one zag. I'm not sure what that is, but whoa, okay.
Calm down and Gooby, please.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And Bruce Willis apparently saying, oh, please, I hope not. So thank you, Bruce Willis.
Well, I knew that Bruce Willis was a fan.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if he was buddies with the ZeeZ guys.
And he's just not shutting up. Bruce Willis just letting us know what he feels. So. Okay. Any good luck, have fun. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Bruce Willis. Please go die hard.
No, don't die.
No, die hard.
Oh, okay.
With a vengeance.
Die hard again.
Yes. Die harder. So this is 2 gas before factory coming out for JJH. So this is going to be very high-tech build, pretty aggressive build. This may very well be that like Reaper drop with Reaper speed build that we saw some players use, even Boxer for a while.
When was that?
Yeah.
I think I slept through that one. The Reaper speed, Reaper drop?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Is that like 2010?
It is a thing. No, it was not like last month, but it was.
Was it this year?
It was a thing. You know, probably like 8 to 10 months ago now, something like that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'll believe you. For now. SCV gonna catch a face full of Reaper bullets, but at least he's tipped off that Reapers are a potential threat now. A second Reaper on the way, and I'm thinking he's going to go straight for Hellions and just try to kill a lot of workers. SCVs are still quite fragile, even though they can repair themselves. It takes a lot of time and resources. Oh no! Don't get caught by 3 Marines.
Aww,
wow, you had such potential, Reaper.
Yes.
What is wrong with you?
Wasted. Third Reaper actually popping out after this. So let's see here. Factory is done. There's Starport. There's Hellions. And so he's just going to continue ahead with a lot of units that do heavy damage to light units. And there's Reaper speed. So, boof.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a thing.
Okay,
it's a thing.
Well, when I was saying, you had such potential, Reaper, it made me then think, I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. And that's applicable to this, because contender is our middle division, where the amateurs will go to if they do well enough.
So that's what we're going to say. After every round of 8 match, when a team loses, we're just going to have their logo, and it's going to say, I could have been a contender.
It totally invites it.
I could have been somebody.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I watched that in my one film class in college.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty good movie. It kind of didn't make a lot of sense. A lot of movies from that era had some gaping plot holes, but that's okay. I forgive them. They're still classics.
I loved film class. So I actually ended up working for our film professor on campus for a while. Cool. So super cool guy, Dr. Bogan. If you're watching,
his name isn't Dr. Bogan.
Yeah.
Do you know what Bogan means?
No.
Bogan is Australian for redneck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's what they call rednecks.
Dr.
Bogans.
James Bogan.
Oh my God!
What, B-O-G-A-N?
That's like if I was studying abroad in like the UK or something, and they just had a Dr. Redneck teaching a class, I'd just be like, what? Is no one catching this?
Yeah, no, definitely Dr. Bogan. Hey,
That's
those
hilarious.
are fast Reapers.
Yeah, they're so quick.
Yeah, moving around here, and that's already a pretty good Marine wall. We'll see if they're able to get around to the side here. We're going to have to go through that eventually.
Need that medevac.
So, ooh, and he sees the medevac as well.
Oh, no.
Marine's already shifting in position, and this build really relies on doing damage quick.
Yeah, it doesn't seem risky at all, though. That's what I like about it.
Oh, no! Like that. And looks like the Hellions are able to get on by. We'll see if that brings back enough units so you can start to run the Reapers in. This could still be a couple of dead workers. Wow.
Maybe one.
Kills a total of... He's killed 4 in that attack because he already killed 1 before.
Oh, I killed 4 right there? That didn't look like it. That was, my eyes are deceiving me.
Clearly.
But these 3 Reapers are being left alone now, though, so maybe they should go hide somewhere for a future attack. Because I can't imagine hanging out in the middle of everything is going to be good for their lives.
Pretty sure they should just run in and kill things and then immediately die. But I think that's more what's going to happen. Oh, and we can see those 2nd and 3rd factories coming up now for JJH. So mech TVT, certainly a fun build. Somewhere Doh is clapping.
somewhere Doh is clapping. I think he's in Minnesota right now. So
he is.
Maybe he's clapping in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, so Starport coming up for ZeeZ.
Yep.
And he's got the nice skull logo for his buildings. I'm a fan. Because it reminds me of the Juggernaut. If the Juggernaut was a Terran, this would be his uniform.
Well, a lot of people would argue that once a Terran gets some momentum, you can't stop him anyway, so I'll allow it.
Okay, okay.
Reapers take a modicum of damage there, have to run away. And as we can see, this is pretty traditional stuff coming out of ZeeZ, though. He's got... Excuse me. He's got 3 Racks Factory coming up, so Marine Medevac and Tank. Apologize, guys. Indigestion there. 3rd Factory is finished up now, and he will be able to produce JJH. That is a fair number of mech units. Absolutely needs that 3rd base, though, in that economy to get to that about 150, 160 supply level before he moves out.
Yeah, both players getting some downtime here. They can build whatever they want. ZeeZ is actually slightly ahead in supply. He did hold off those earlier attacks so well that now he's got that slight advantage, and he is destroying the destructible debris and working toward taking that 3rd base. There's a floating building heading out just south of... Why?
Just the barracks.
But why that way?
See you later.
All right, well, he's like, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. And takes off. Oh, the Reapers finally activate, but they are very, very close to those many, many Marines. Are they going to be able to kill this tech lab before this?
One more shot.
Yes!
He gets it. Stim actually held up for a long period of time. So, and 2 Reapers get away. So for the loss of 1 Reaper, that was very nice stuff.
Yep, very cost effective. And another SCV killed added to the tally. So I'm not sure if this 3rd base is ever going to come online or if ZeeZ is just going to go try to drop the hammer on JJH. JJH obviously going to see this coming with the Zelnega Tower under his control, but doesn't move the Reapers away in time. They both explode and fly up into the air. And now we've got some Hellions moving around. We've got some tanks sieging up. We got the PDD perhaps ready to drop. Does he have enough energy? Not
15
quite.
energy away.
Yeah,
so.
he should be fine by the time they get there.
It's actually a 4th factory coming up now, so with the 3rd base finished up, he will have a good number of workers prepared, and he has closed that supply gap just a bit, even investing in pretty expensive units.
This is going to be interesting, because he can load up and do a lot of damage on this high ground. The problem is that siege tank right there. Oh my goodness. Such good positioning there for ZeeZ. He can just drop directly onto the siege tank, draw the fire from the low ground.
Ooh, actually picked up one
again.
of his hurt Marines there, so very well done. And we'll see if he can get any more damage done here in just a second. There's another scan. 1 Hellion is actually brought up to the front.
They're dueling. Siege tank versus Hellion.
I go with the Hellion.
Yeah. Well, you'd be wrong in that scenario because the Hellion died.
Maybe. Okay, well, looks like he's still going to try and drop directly on top of the tanks, and we'll be able to do a pretty effective job of just that, actually waiting for his drops to make sure the timing with the siege tank hits. So a really nice maneuver from ZeeZ there. I've got to say his control's been pretty darn good.
Yeah, dropping these individual Marines, actually, even onto these Blue Flame Hellions, is drawing tank fire, and it's pretty amusing to me, seeing how much damage is being done from his own units, from JJH's own units. But finally, that medevac does go down, so this is going to get stalled out a little bit. He may even want to consider just leaving now. Without that medevac helping him out, it's just kind of awkward positioning. Soon, I feel like that tank could have been positioned just slightly closer, but the scan was going to make the difference. So Yeah, SenDoh needs to figure out what he's doing here.
All right, has to back out of there and does. Fair number of Marines left over as well. Vikings, nice job running up and picking off the medevac as it was in retreat. SenDoh, though, is, looks like he's reinvesting. Okay, he's got one Tech Lab starport. Where is this going? Okay, onto a reactor. So he's actually moving over to Sky Terran, kind of. He's got 3 starports in total.
Yeah, he's making one Banshee there and one medevac. So with this reactor, we'll see, is he going to accompany these with Vikings, or will he start producing anything immediately? He's got a lot of starports.
I like that, though. The response to mech, Sky Terran, still and not really producing any ground units. No more Marines coming out or anything along those lines.
That's right, and destructible debris going to go down finally for JJH, who has established a supply lead again after that skirmish that took place at his base. So even though there were a lot of standing Marines and tanks, this is going to be an interesting. There's no way out of here, so they're going to have to fight their way out. That's kind of a weird spot there, but the orbital command, he might even get it started burning, but I think he's just going to lose everything. The Blue Flame Hellions finally getting their opportunity to shine, roasting a ton of those Marines. Even though the siege tanks were splashing away on them, they got a lot of damage done there.
He did deny that base, though, for a very long period of time. So, I mean, he doesn't want to lose all those units, don't get me wrong, but it was good that he was able to do some damage with those all the while he's been mining off of his 3 bases. Now, going for Bio plus Sky Terran is going to be pretty risky. That's a lot of Vikings that are popping out 4 at a time. He's already got the advantage, and he is going to be leapfrogging ahead very soon.
Very interesting mix. I mean, SenDoh has basically units of all types coming out right now. Banshee, Viking, Tank, Marauder, and Marine all in that production tab, and it's going to be nice to have that variety. But the trick is, in a weird map like Metropolis with a lot of ramps, a lot of bases to assault, the trick is going to be using those medevacs as well as he can to split attention, to avoid siege tank fire, keep those Vikings useful. I mean, if you've got units constantly loading in and out of medevacs, the Vikings, that's where they really shine, so they can protect those medevacs and keep your mobility up.
Ooh, there's point defense drones, 2 of them getting dropped down, so the Raven is out of energy, but that was absolutely necessary initially by JJH, or at least the first one was. Now, since the Vikings have reinforced for SenDoh, he does have a pretty clear air advantage. Looks like he wants to clean up the destructible debris as fast as possible. Hellion drop making its way in, though, for JJH, and this could kill a lot of workers.
Definitely could, but
he killed a few at the beginning, though, so he's killed 16 so far.
It's starting to pile up a little bit, but right now he's got big problems to worry about here. SenDoh is assaulting with basically everything, and the Viking count being on SenDoh's side is going to be massive here. These Vikings can actually land on these tanks one at a time and draw a lot of splash from the other tanks. This is kind of a weird position here. We've got 4 tanks on the ground and a ton of Vikings in the sky, but the Banshee actually being the all-star there, forcing the tanks to retreat without any ground support.
And the command center goes down once again, so pretty good advantage gained by SenDoh. He has control of the air. It's going to force nothing but basically Thors and Vikings out of his opponent, and JJH is really on the back foot. He's only down... or he's down to just 2 bases now, and he's been mining off of his main for so long that there's only a token amount of mining left over.
Yeah, you can see he's used 3 supply cooldowns too. Man, that's always it always feels kind of bad when you have to call down 1 supply, but if you miss enough mules that and supply depots that you've got to do that many call downs, that's just rough. But I do like the column of production facilities we have here in SenDoh's base, just spanning the entire main.
Well done.
It's like the great wall of production there.
Yeah.
I like it. It's very varied. It's very aesthetically pleasing.
That's true. Yes. Very OCD. I tend to do things like that too.
So oh man, this is just really strange to try and wrap my head around. So the Thors are basically going to be fending off all these Vikings and medevacs, but they're so slow that they're not going to make it back to the main if SenDoh tries to crash in there right now. But there are tanks in position and turrets, so even that's going to be a little bit difficult. So this game could just be a very long battle of attrition here.
And looks like at the same time, the Hellions making their way back through, killing more workers. It was 16 killed a second ago, now up to 28, so an additional 12 workers have gone down.
Yeah, JJH being very proactive with these Hellions, killing a lot of units for essentially no loss, even forcing SenDoh to come back with his main force, or at least...
he was for a second there. He went back about halfway across the map.
Yeah, he did waste some time, but he's got a tank out now and should be able to pop these. Yeah, Marauders helping as well. So I'm wondering what's in that medevac. He's got some stuff loaded up.
So he's going back out of Sky Terran and back into MMM with tanks added in.
Yeah, I think there was a turning point there where he had a bunch of Vikings still in the air, and there were tanks and Thors on the ground for JJH, where he realized the Vikings were not going to be as effective without just a lot of support anyway. And he's got a solid Viking count still anyway now, so it makes sense to support with more Marauders and tanks just to catch up with JJH.
All right, well, that is quite the defensive line from JJH. It's going to be difficult to assault that no matter how you want to cut that. So SenDoh trying to go around the side, though. And he did have vision of this new base, so it looks like he's going to try and drop in there and do some damage. SenDoh just finishing up his own 4th base.
Yep, sensor tower coming online now for JJH, so he'll be able to spot any incoming attacks. Oh, this is actually a perfect spot to attack into. There's no units here yet to respond to this. He's going to kill a lot of SCVs and have the option of picking up and flying away just behind there in the top right corner. So lots of workers getting killed there. Is he mobilizing? No, he's not going to mobilize his main force, even though this is acting as a great distraction. So I really thought he was going to use that blob in the middle to start wreaking havoc in the main once he got that drop off, but didn't quite pull through with that.
No, decided not to. He's got a couple tanks lined up as well.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Okay, sure. Yeah, you do that.
Good as place as any.
Yeah, I thought they were going to sit here or something like that and shell down this mineral line, but no, that would be overrated. Looks like he's just trying to ferry his entire force outside of the range of the sensor turret so he can eventually just move down.
This is just some strange positioning from both players. I mean, JJH obviously is in a position where he wants to get all these bases up and continue killing off workers in SenDoh's bases, but right now SenDoh has a good contain. He's got a huge force at the top here and another big blob of units in the middle, so JJH is going to have a hard time moving out to harass or anything. The further this goes on, SenDoh is pulling ahead in supply. He's got superior position right now. Here come some Hellions. They do manage to skirt around the outside, and they might actually get a column of units here. Oh no, the Marauders doing a great job. Concussive shells going down, stopping most of those Hellions from getting through. Maybe only a couple of SCVs will go down, if any. No SCVs going down there.
This is... Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
This is one of those games where I think it's going to be not going to be a worker. It just feels like both players are afraid to do a straight-up engagement for obvious reasons on both sides. I mean, JJH has been playing from behind, honestly, a good portion of this game, but he does have a fantastic defensive position set up. But... you know, SenDoh, he's just expanding everywhere. He's teching up. He's got everything he needs.
Yeah, and just look at the upgrades. I'm actually a little surprised that we're seeing 3-3 just now finishing for SenDoh and +3 vehicle weapons finishing for JJH because they've been invested in those tech paths for a while now. Another armory coming up for SenDoh. He's just going to upgrade everything all the time.
Whoa! Oh, God, a Thor actually just took a huge hit out of those Vikings. They were all clumped up, and a couple of them going down there as well. Ooh, they really have to watch out. Taking siege tank fire would be no fun at this point.
Yep, 5 Thors, multiple Vikings in the air. JJH obviously trying to hang on as long as he can. This is his team's tournament life in the IPTL Amateur Division, so obviously he wants to, you know, keep producing, doesn't want to give up any ground. He's doing fine actually at this moment. He just needs to find a way to hit back basically, because a contain like this, usually there's not many good options. If you can't mine from that planetary fortress, it's really kind of pointless.
And he is down to just 41 workers, so if you take the worker count out of it, he's not that far behind in overall army supply. He, of course, just needs the ability to sit back and mine off of this 4th base for a while, which his opponent is clearly doing, not just off of a 4th, but now just finished up a 5th.
Yeah, he can even take the other side. He can take the island. I mean, JJH doesn't really have any options right now to get out of there. He needs to get out of the house somehow, but there's such a good contain setup.
There is a good contain setup, but here's the problem with what SenDoh's done. He's voluntarily split up his forces, so there's actually the potential for JJH to assault this pretty cost-efficiently and take a good number of forces out without taking too much of his own.
It's tricky because of the mixture of bio units. They can just run in and run out.
Yeah.
So if the Thors get in a spot where the bio's in trouble, he can just run them away and pick up in medevacs. And he's still got a nice Viking count there, so they can't even really pursue. It's just... it's just a long stalemate, really. Tank Viking battles. I mean, we've seen these many times throughout StarCraft 2, and it used to be to a point where TVT was just like, oh, please no TVT anymore. But you know, it's actually been a while since I've seen a long siege up like this.
Yeah, and to think this started from a Reaper Hellion speed drop, so that was kind of a weird way to begin the game. But as we see ZeeZ finishing up Planetary Fortress in the top left-hand corner, saturating another base down to the bottom right, he's got a lot of things working for him at this stage. Looks like a little bit of supply just went down there. Tanks were able to get position. JJH has certainly done a good job of not giving up, not giving in either, and just try to bull rush his way out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his end goal is going to be, though, or what his long game plan is. I mean, like we said many times now, he's got this defensive position, but he's going to have to mobilize. Yeah, Thors.
Yeah, that is a lot of units there.
He should be able to kill all of this. That is a point you brought up earlier to the split forces.
Okay, well, yeah, JJH loses, or I'm sorry, not loses, kills pretty much everything that was sitting there in the middle. ZenDoh scans. What is he going to do? Is he going to decide to attack here? He doesn't have a lot of pure attack units sitting here, and JJH with the Planetary Fortress and all those units should be able to defend for an appropriate amount of time. Yeah,
JJH has a unit mixture I like because it's got a lot of Thors. Basically splash in all directions. The siege tank's sieging up now. Wow, that's a lot of tanks too. I kind of underestimated how many he actually had there. So now I'm a little surprised that he's coming through this path because he's going sort of closer to the main. He can start hitting production buildings and stuff like that, but I would think that he would want to do a counter on the economy of ZenDoh.
And this is awfully aggressive. He got really far forward there, and ZenDoh did have a lot of bio units that were able to fan themselves out. JJH just has too much stuff there. At the same time, ZenDoh is trying to drop in an attack over at this base. Missile turret actually picks off a couple of those Vikings there, so he's not able to get too much damage done, but it does buy him what he needs to move his tanks up to the front.
Yep, JJH just blasting his way through, so now this is where some real decision-making comes in, right? Because, wow, I can't believe this Natural is still mining. He's got to decide, do I want to kill off the production facilities? Do I want to kill off the economy as much as I can? The siege tanks are not in a great position to be sieging that Natural, and inside the main, every unit that ZenDoh has produced in the last few minutes has just been bottling up in here. Eventually, these stores are going to go down. There's no repair forces here for JJH, and his economy is really low. His mineral income appears to be just a trickle at this point. ZenDoh's still keeping the clamp on him on that top base, so really ZenDoh just cranking out units. Eventually, he's going to be out in the position JJH was in, where he just has enough units to roll right back out.
And, yeah, I mean, but JJH couldn't have done this really any earlier is the worst part. Oh, that's a lot of clumped up units, so if he can get a good engage here, would certainly be helpful for him. But no, ZenDoh splits up his Marauders. The damage can't be done in time, and he completely breaks out, and all of a sudden, JJH is way down in supply.
Yep, and these tanks are going to stay in their normal mode here just to try and get that single target DPS as much as they can. Is he even going to finish? Oh, no, he didn't finish off the last tank. But
Marauder!
Man, even the Marauder couldn't get it. SCVs, why? Why?
Now they're going to try. No. Maybe this Marauder from the top.
Yay.
Okay, yeah, he gets it.
And these should get that last one as well.
Yep, there it goes.
So only Vikings remaining. Oh, something's happening topside. Oh, we got ZenDoh moving back again. Yeah. Very focused on defending at home, obviously, but now he's basically got some free attacks on these SCVs. He's up by 50 supply. This Planetary Fortress is going to go down. If he tried to repair it, he would just lose all those SCVs.
Yep, and JJH has to back out of there. Now ZenDoh is even mining off of this base where he built a few barracks as well, so he's taken literally the entire map. He's this, unfortunately, was the orbital command that was in the main earlier for JJH. Now it's going to be denied as well. Whoa. That's a lot of SCVs, and they're going to try and attack here. Go SCVs, I guess.
Might not be the best area to send all your SCVs. Imagine if just like 2 Blue Flame Hellions happened to be around. That would have been so gross, but we do have some movement coming along here.
Yeah, it looks like JJH is going to be able to break out of this at some point, but, I mean, I hate the old cliche, but at what cost? I mean, he's pretty much lost everything now. He's down to under 80 supply. He's down under 100, or he's 100 less supply than his opponent is at the moment.
Oh, my goodness. So ZenDoh's great wall of production still paying off for him back at home, as well as near JJH's bases. This seems to be a pretty sizable force here as well. Can we click on the tanks? I want to see upgrades. 3-2 against 3-1. All right, so I'm a little surprised they're not just super maxed, but at this point, SenDoh has that production advantage. He's had the income advantage for long enough where he's sitting on a bank now, so even if he attacks into this, he can rebuild fairly quickly. It looks like the main has been more or less abandoned by JJH. He's got to keep all his forces at that choke outside of the third.
And look at that, even dropping down to barracks just to make sure that another command center can't land for a good period of time. So JJH kind of on his last legs now. I mean, what can he do? He's trying to rally whatever forces he can, but I mean, he would need to not just repel this force, but kill his opponent in a subsequent counterattack. And that's assuming he gets the absolute best possible engagement. So looks like he's going to set up, though. JJH off to the side, thinking about rolling forward. That's a lot of bioforces, though, and he does get the siege up. But the Marauders get away.
I'm a bit surprised SenDoh didn't just push the other direction and try to crash through that. I do think he would have the advantage there. Oh, no!
Oh, okay, well, there it is. Denying the big